War does not always begin with bullets or bombs. Sometimes it begins quietly through decisions, documents, and silence. This is the story of a small, peaceful country called Norvia. Norvia never wanted war. When the world was dividing into powerful blocs and armies were being mobilized, Norvia chose neutrality. It sent no soldiers, took no sides, and made no threats. To the outside world, Norvia looked safe, untouched, invisible. But the real invasion had already begun. The first change came through education. New textbooks arrived in schools, modern, polished, approved. The facts were still there, but the language had shifted. Resistance became necessary compromise. Loss became strategic adjustment. Children were no longer taught to ask questions. They were taught to accept conclusions. Then came the attack on language. In government offices, a new language was declared global and progressive. The old national language was slowly pushed aside, first from documents, then from public spaces. It survived only inside homes, and when a language disappears, a way of thinking disappears with it. The third phase was economic and the most effective. Easy loans were offered, foreign companies arrived, jobs increased, the city skylines grew taller. Everything looked like development, but hidden inside every agreement or conditions no one read carefully. Within a few years, Norvia's key decisions were no longer made in its own capital, but in distant boardrooms. There were no tanks at the border, no bombs in the streets, no official declaration of war. Yet Norvia was no longer free. When people began to question the changes, they were told it was all for stability and peace. When protests rose quietly, they were labeled anti-development. Slowly, resistance turned into silence. An elderly citizen once said, "We never saw the war being lost. We only realized it when our children no longer thought like us." Today, Norvia still exists on the map. Its flag still flies, but its identity, its choices, and its future no longer belong to its people. And the story leaves behind one final question. If a country is taken without a single bullet being fired, was it really not a war?